Now, the advanced market is growing faster. And that you clearly see that in the server market, which is Gartner data, and the VR market. But I think more importantly is probably what TSMC showed. And actually, when you look at the smartphone and consumer market, and you look at these little blocks on the left-hand side, and you say, for instance, sensors. Yeah, sensors is actually moving from 0.35 micron now up to 28 nanometer, and more bands and higher speed in smartphones and on the consumer side also moves up from basically and 65 nanometer to 6 nanometer, which is very clearly EUV territory. And the same is true for sound and image. So basically what you are seeing is in those products, smartphone and consumer, there is a significant increase in technology innovations that need next nodes. And that's a driver that we now have better insights in, and that means that there is a higher demand for advanced semiconductors. And the mature market that I talked about this is a market very difficult to understand because it's so wide. And the energy transition, I talked about solar, I talked about wind. I didn't talk about the grid, about the energy grid. The energy grid needs to be upgraded. It needs to be upgraded with microcontrollers, with sensors. So basically, because when you generate the electrons, you need to offload it to the grid. That's going to be a significant area where mature semiconductors are going to be used. But also on the consumer market. There's also a TSMC slide. And when you later on look into the detail, you see that in all these areas, you see that the number of mature chips used in those applications are sometimes 20-fold higher in terms of units. Yeah? And this is to do with the smart cars. Eh? And when you look at the automotive and then look at the increase in low-end chips or mature chips that are used in a car, and you look at those 4 blocks, you can see that it's 10 to 20-fold increases of just mature semiconductors, just for smart cars. And this is all data points, but what do we see? I think this is an important slide. What we actually see is the mask sets that are being run through our systems, anything above 28 nanometer. 28, you can see it here, it's 40, 65, and 90 to 130 nanometer, to 0.13 micron. Yeah, you can see the technology that is needed for it, which is in these green blocks. And you've seen that over the last couple of years, we've seen a 40% increase in the number of mask sets. And every mask set is a product. So you see that instead of, you can see in 2012, the dark blue line, which is 90 to 0.13 micron, actually went down. But from 2015 onwards, you see a significant growth. And this is what we're continuously seeing. And this, by the way, is also being confirmed by some of the mask makers. There's an e-beam mask maker initiative that actually, over a somewhat shorter period, saw an increase of 48%. So actually we are, and that was in this mature market node area. And this is a clear proof that there are products being designed and being fed through the manufacturing system that we have no clue of. And we could, of course, seen this, but we didn't. And we didn't understand it. But it's happening, it's there. Now, energy efficiency. I think would like to, the point is, if you want to make the leading edge device more energy efficient, you like to lower the clock speed. You basically like to run them at a lower voltage. But if you do that, the performance goes down. So how do you then level up to the performance? You include more transistors. Well, if you have more transistors, you need more surface area, which I think is very well depicted by this black part of the slide, which is basically a slide from Apple. And it's probably difficult to read, but if you look at the left-hand side, you see the M1 chip. M1 chip basically has high performance and low energy usage. But then if you look at the size of those chips, and look at the right-hand side, the M1 chip is by far the biggest. So yes, you increase performance, you reduce energy usage, but there's one penalty, and the penalty is size. So you need to have bigger die, and to get the same units out, you need more wafers. And that's what we're seeing.